Context filters in Tableau are a powerful means of fine-tuning your data analysis and visualization. They allow you to create a specific context within your workbook, isolating a subset of data. But by setting a context within these filters, you can focus on a particular aspect or dimension of your data, gaining more granular. Context filters are especially useful when you need to perform a complex analysis or when you want to compare specific data points across multiple visualizations. This feature empowers you to define the context in which certain calculations or visualizations are applied, providing a more precise and meaningful perspective of your data. Context filters enhance the flexibility of your Tableau workbook and assist in making the data-driven decisions by allowing you to isolate and examine the data in a target. So let's go to the Tableau screen and see how we can create these kind of filters. So before starting the context filter, I would like to make a filter and show you why we need a context. So to create a filter, what I'll do is I'll pick the subcategories and I'll pick the subcategory by say. Now let me convert this into the horizontal bar chart and let me arrange it in any way. Say I am assign sorry, please cut this part. Say I am arranging it in the descending order or ascending. Over here, let's say if you want to create any kind of filter in which you want to turn off few of the subcategories, what would you do in general case? You drag the subcategory over here in filters and you can select the items that you want to see or you don't want to see from over here by checking or unchecking this particular. So let us click on apply and okay. And for now, if I want to see this filter, what I need to do is I can click on this arrow and I can use the show filter option. And here I can easily target the subcategories which I don't want to see or which I want to turn on. Let's try to fit this data in the full view. So I'll select the standard and entire view option from over here. So what exactly is happening over here is that say I don't want to see the chairs data. So I can turn it off and you can see shares is no longer visible over here. The same can be done for the storage as well. So if I uncheck this storage, it would go away. So this is creating a basic filter. Now let's talk about creating a basic. So let's say if I'm creating the category over here and if I'm trying to create a hierarchy of this, as I know, every subcategory belongs to a specific category. And this is having a parent-child relationship over here that every category has some amount of subcategories inside. If you want to create another filter for this category, what you will do is you will drag this category over here in filters. And right now I have keep everything as turned on. I click on apply, click on OK. If I want to see this also in the filters, I can select the filters over here and now you can see both the filters are visible over here. Now let's do some filtering over here. Let's say if you don't want to see the furniture items. The furniture items here include chairs, bookcase, tables, and furnishing. But I don't want to see this furniture items. So what I can do is I can uncheck this furniture row. So the furniture items went away. But if you take a close look over here, you can see still this chair is visible over here. Furnishing items are visible over here. Tables are visible over here. But this should not be the case. If I have turned all these options off for the furniture, the items which belong to furniture should be off. Right now, all I can see is the visualization is not present for them. But it can be confusing sometimes when you are working with these filters and they do not follow the order of the off or on situation over here. So this can be confusing if you are working with a large data set and there are multiple filters that we apply. In that case, you might be thinking that these options are turned on, but these are not on in a visualization. Right now, it is easy for us to verify over here with the help of the subcategories. I can easily count what are the subcategories that are present over here and which subcategories are showing over here. And then I can compare which are on, which are not off. But this should not be the case. And I can then follow another thing. Let's say if I don't want to see the chairs, the tables, and the other things that are belonging to furniture, let's say the furnishing items and the bookcases. Now you can see if I've turned everything off that was included in the furniture item, furniture is still on over here. And if I'm doing any calculation on the basis of any measures, that situation can cause some error in looking at our data with the help of our filters. So what I'm trying to say over here is that whenever I uncheck this furniture item, I want all the categories that are related to furniture should be off. And it should be off not just in the visualization alone, but it should be off in the subcategory as. So for that, what I need to do is I can go to the categories over here and you can see right now the category with the help of this dark blue color. If I click over here in the arrow and here I have this option to add to context. If I add this to context, you can see it has now highlighted it in the gray color. And with this, what I can do. So now the question arises, how can you turn these values off? To turn these values off, what you need to do is again, you have to go in the subcategory and add this to the context as well. So I'll click on this arrow and I choose add to context. Here, after adding it to the context, I'll again verify with all the filters. If I click over here, I have to choose only the relevant values over here and I'll do the same thing for this particular filter. So I'll choose all values in context over here and see what happens. Let's say this time I try to turn off the, you can see whatever items were related to furniture have also been missing from over here. So they went away as I chose this option. If you again chose not to show this technology option, so all the values associated with the technology, that is the phones, copiers, machines, and accessory, would not be shown in this particular filter list. So let me turn off this technology and you can see all the options I have now. If you want to show the filters again, you can again turn on this technology and this would then follow the context. So the context filter basically means whatever data is present on the basis of that context, only that. If it is not related to your context, that option would be disappeared. So this is one of the way, and this is quite useful when you don't want to confuse yourself by applying multiple filters. So assume you have applied multiple filters, and as you have seen in multiple other platforms as well, let's say if you are trying to scroll any e-commerce website, and there you might have seen that if you apply a single filter, only the options related to it appear next. So in those cases, this is particularly useful. Let's say if any person is not showing the data for the furnitures, so it should be very clear that the items which are present inside the furniture should also not. And this is one of the case where this particular context filter is very. So the only data related to that context. So let me select the all again and I'll repeat the steps again. So what I need to do is again, I'll try to create the category and subcategory wise data. And this time I'm taking the prompt and I'm trying to convert it into the horizontal bar. Now this category and subcategory follow a parent-child relationship. I'll try to fit it in the entire view and I'll create a filter for the categories and I'll also create a filter for the subcategory. To view these filters, I can click on the arrows present inside these filters and I can choose the show filter. I will do the same thing for the subcategory and here all the categories and subcategories are now. I will just quickly move. Now the problem was if I turn off this furniture, I went to the category option and I added it to context. So I'll choose add to the context option. I'll also use the subcategory option and I choose to add it to the context. Then I can go in the category option over here and choose only relevant values over. If I turn off the furniture over here, again this is showing, that means I have to turn on the relative values over here. So I can choose this all values in context option and it would only show me the relative value. So let's turn off the office supplies over here and you can see all the values that were present inside the office supplies have now moved out of this particular. So this is how you can create a context filter and only the values which are related to that context. I hope this session was clear to you.